Hi everyone, and a warm welcome to this week's episode of Low Season Traveller Insider Guides. I'm Jed Brown, your host for this week's episode, and today we're heading back over to India, where I spent some time recently learning more about what the low season experience is like in the heat of the North Indian summer. Last week we featured the fabulous Rambagh Palace in Jaipur, and this week we are in arguably one of the finest hotels in New Delhi, the Taj Mahal. Now, I've had the pleasure of staying in this property many times over the years, and I came to think of it as my home when I'm in Delhi. The attentiveness of the staff is always second to none, and I was constantly amazed at how they all remembered my name, even if I hadn't visited for 2 or 3 years, would you believe? The Taj Mahal is perfectly located in the heart of Delhi, and whilst it has always attracted a good business clientele, it's fair to say that it never really got the tourism market in the past. Well, after an extensive renovation during the COVID years, the Taj Mahal is back open and is now absolutely perfect for tourists eager to experience the best of Delhi in a truly classic and iconic property. After a tour of the hotel, I sat down with the general manager, Mr. Satyajit Krishnan, to learn more about the property and some of the new initiatives which they've been implementing recently to further enhance the guest experience. Enjoy. Mr. Krishna, welcome to the Low Season Traveller Insider Guides podcast. It's great to have you on the show, and it's great to be here in your fabulous property.
Thank you, Jed. Welcome to the hotel, if I may say so, and kind of you to have me on the show. And I think it's something which is quite an interesting name, Low Season Traveller.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Great idea.
We are right now in. Why don't you tell us exactly where we are? We're in the chambers.
That's right. You're in the chambers of the Taj Mahal, New Delhi, which is a hotel situated literally in the heart of what we call New Delhi, which is the capital of the country, as you know. And it is the greenest part of the city. In fact, this city was voted as one of the greenest capitals in the world. So you can well imagine where we are right now. It's like an oasis of greenery as you look out of your windows. On one side, we have vistas of the presidential palace and the seats of government. On the other side, you have a beautiful view of the new pool. And the rest of the city is stretching right up to the older part, which is what the famous monument called Qutub Minar, which is visible on good days from the city.
On good days, I love that.
But yes, I mean, it is, we talked about Low Season Traveller, of course. This is Delhi, and it's not really so much seasonal, but it does have its highs and lows. As good hotel general managers, we would never want a low season, so maybe Absolutely. It's a bit of an opposite of what your business is. But no, having said that, jokes apart, I think, as I said, it's a great idea to have something that is, and I'm so glad to be on your show.
Oh, thank you.
And yes, Delhi has its moments of what we may call low season. So look forward to having your guests visit us then.
Thank you very much. Tell our guests, so some of our guests might never have been to India, let alone have been to Delhi. Just if you wouldn't mind, give us a little bit of an overview to this particular property, and maybe a little bit about Taj Hotels. People might not be familiar. I know Taj Hotels very, very well, but tell us a little bit about the property.
Right.
About Taj.
So we're a 120-year-old hospitality company. We belong to the Tata Group, and the Tata Group is a multi-discipline, multi-organization, multi-kind of industry organization. A large group and spread from all across the world. In fact, we have some large interests in the UK too, and also in the US. Tata Group, as we're known as, is salt to software, and hospitality is one of them. We're also into aviation, for example. The Taj Hotels, or what we call Indian Hotels Company Limited, is the oldest operating Tata Group company, right from inception. We were, as I said, 120 years ago, we established what is known as one of our most iconic hotels in the world and in the country, called the Taj Mahal Palace. So that's where this journey began. And then we expanded across the country, and today we're in every state of the country and in multiple destinations across the world and continents, including Europe and the US. This hotel was actually the first large hotel after the flagship. The flagship is, as I said, the Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai, which is very famous. The first hotel after that was this hotel, and Taj Mahal in New Delhi was named in a way after the flagship. This was formed in 1978, so we turned 45 this year. The special part is this was the first large hotel the Taj actually, created after the Taj in Mumbai, and the first step into the capital of the country. 290 rooms when it opened, and now we're down to 213. We've actually expanded rooms, and we've gone through a very detailed refurbishment, or we rather call it a reimagination of this hotel, literally from top to bottom. So we, as you know, are sitting at the top of the hotel in Chambers. The Chambers is a private members club. So what we have consciously done in this hotel over the years is created, enclaves of luxury where guests can experience privacy and a sense of intimacy, and places where business can be conducted without having to have a large amount of crowds, etc., or in people walking around. So the Chambers is a private members club, as I said. It's on top of the building, 2 floors, and we have 7 meeting rooms. We have a very nice international dining experience in the Chambers. It's a restaurant called Albero, which does international cuisine, mostly European, and of course it has large meeting rooms on one side and smaller meeting rooms on one side. And it has a beautiful lounge with actually a cigar bar, a cigar room, and a beautiful bar.
Lovely.
So that's Chambers for you, and that's where we are. And then of course we went on to have the rooms done. So our rooms are totally refurbished, as I said, made larger from earlier, and beautiful bathrooms with sweeping views of both sides of the city.
And I should point out, so we were speaking before just off air. I've had the good fortune of staying in this property quite a number of times over the years. This is my first time since the refurb, and I'm tremendously impressed with the refurb. But it's fair to say that you're talking about the here we are in the Chambers, which are absolutely sensational as well. Lovely little spaces and nooks and crannies for meetings.
That's what I said. Exclusivity is what.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of deals get done, because it has traditionally been, is it fair to say, more on the business side of things?
So yes, you're absolutely right, Jed. Historically, this hotel, being where it is situated and located, has been more of a business-driven, corporate-driven hotel. It has had very loyal leisure guests too over the decades, but as I said, primarily more corporate-driven hotel. However, when we reimagined this hotel, we realized that while, of course, our address and our location will always attract the business travelers, but we also are in Delhi, which is the launching pad for what we call the Golden Triangle. And everybody knows Agra and Jaipur, and Delhi is equidistant from both those destinations, with wonderful road as well as rail as well as air connectivity. So we would have leisure travelers coming in, and this is the first port of call, right? So where we are situated in such a beautiful green part, and another point I must point out is that we literally 5 minutes driving time from any major monument in the city, barring the Red Fort.
Wow.
So Delhi this hotel is actually beautifully situated for a leisure traveler. So to your point, yes, we've actually consciously worked on creating more experiences which would attract the leisure traveler. For example, the larger bathrooms, the beautiful bathtubs, the wonderful new swimming pool with the jacuzzi, and mind you, it's an all-weather pool. So it's a heated pool, and as I mentioned, with the jacuzzi, lovely day beds. We've just opened our spa last week, and it's a significantly larger spa than before, and we have a brand called J Wellness Circle. That's the new spa which just launched last week, and we have a beautiful new hairdressing experience called New and Now. So with all these experiences, and of course the dining experience, we have an array of eclectic restaurants, and quite frankly, the business traveler may not have so much of time to experience all our restaurants, but I do know that the leisure traveler, and especially off-season or low-season travelers, would definitely have time to do that. We have an Indian restaurant which is called Work, and it's a very unique take on Indian cuisine. It's not traditional heavy Indian food. It's actually pre-plated Indian food, lighter on the palate, and not lighter on the wallet, but lighter on the palate. Well, lighter on the wallet and palate. But having said that, the food there is something which would appeal to an international traveler, simply because it's curries, but it's not curries as we would know it. And it is actually, we quite often say that Work is the father of modern Indian food, Indian restaurants, because a lot of restaurants, modern Indian style restaurants, actually started out when after Work opened. So that's Work, which is our Indian food. And we have a Chinese restaurant, which is actually iconic, because it's literally had generations in the city come to that restaurant. It's called the House of Ming. Totally reimagined, renovated, very popular in the city. We had people waiting for tables at least 2-3 times a week. So it is one of the most popular restaurants in town. And then we have an all-day dining restaurant, which is quite interesting. It's called Machan. Now, the word Machan actually means a place in a jungle where you sit and you can observe the wildlife. You are on a height.
It's an appropriate name, I think.
Exactly, and if you literally look at a Machan, you see only treetops, and it's very, very relevant. So there we've gone in for a concept of jungle food, jungles from in the forests of the world, we call it, forest cuisine, relevant obviously to its name. So as I said, a lot of interesting options, and we have a bar called Rick's. Obviously, you know where the origin of that
I'm
name
familiar with it.
So Rick's has also been redone and just opened again last week. It's going to be a cocktail bar and a gin-based cocktail bar. So it's going to be quite interesting. Gin drinking is really the trend in India now, and we can see a lot of people wanting to use that bar. So these are the restaurants. We have a lovely lounge in the lobby, which again overlooks the greenery. I think, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're very fortunate with our location, and all our restaurants, you look out, you're looking at oasis of green overlooking the pool, beautiful trees, very old trees. So it's a very pretty view.
It certainly is. We should point out as well that when you first walk into the property, the lobby is the lobby was always pretty special actually, but it's spectacular now.
I kind of feel to say that. So you see, the thing about this hotel, and we've been very fortunate, as I said, with location, but we also have worked very consciously on an Indian ethos.
Yeah.
So you walk into this hotel, you immediately get a sense of place, you get a sense of the destination we're in. India's most famous monument is reflected in the lobby, for example, the Taj Mahal. So if you look at the domes, hand-painted ceramic original colors on the domes, and the wall, which is what we call the red wall, are reflections of India's heritage. And the reception has this entire backdrop which resembles the monument. So it has a lot of history, yet didn't want it to be overbearing. So it's done in a very light, contemporary way. But you walk into this lobby, you're surely in New Delhi, and you're in India.
You definitely do.
And that's, I think, the best way to welcome people who land in India. As I said, Delhi is the launching pad for the other cities. So this hotel has multiple reasons for travelers, leisure travelers to visit. So we actually work consciously, as I said, on that. And I can see already the demographic changing. Business travelers are there, but leisure travelers are going to be there for sure. And the numbers have started increasing. I forgot to mention also a beautiful new lounge on the 8th floor. We call it the Taj Club Lounge. It's literally double from size, and it does a lovely breakfast in the mornings. And we even have in that lounge, we're talking leisure travelers, 2 day beds. So you actually have like deck beds. You can there's a room where you can go and rest, catch a snooze in the afternoon.
Yeah, I love it. And that's, I just had a look around there before.
You did. Yeah.
And again, absolutely sensational. Could barely recognise it from.
It has transformed.
The
We've been
last time I was
fortunate.
here.
Yeah.
The rooms as well. The rooms and suites, again, the transformation has been seismic, I would say. I mean, phenomenally tastefully done.
Thank you.
I was asking your staff, who's the designers behind this? Because really, the colours, the decor, the pictures on the walls, everything about it is absolutely sensational.
Thank you. No, our managing director and CEO, Mr. Chatwal, was very keen that this hotel, this is known as the flagship of the North for this company. It is an iconic hotel. It has a great connect with the city. And it has been over the years, over the decades, if I may say, it has literally stood for something for travelers coming in from all across the world and the country. So he was very keen that we must retain its soul, yet transform it completely and make it future ready. So you mentioned about the rooms, and that's what I wanted to say. When you asked me who the designer was, the design philosophy, the design intent was driven by Mr. Chatwal and the leadership. They had to look at this hotel, they stepped back and they said, okay, how do we transform the hotel? And then the intention was, of course, conveyed to the designer. But the whole idea was, it's very interesting, very important, and I think for all renovations, it's very important to give the right inputs to a designer, because if you do not do that, you could lose your sense of place, and you lose the soul of the hotel. So I think our CEO and the leadership actually worked on this, and then they gave the brief to the designer. You mentioned about the room. So, what we've consciously done is, one of the pain points we felt was the bathrooms are small. So what we've consciously done is we made larger bathrooms, as I said, with views. You literally are in your bathtub and you're looking at a Delhi skyline. So it's very unique. And we've got, of course, mood showers and, two sink bathroom, fixture, bath basins. So it is a larger sense of space in the rooms. The rooms have been made bigger. which gives you a whole large feeling of space and more places to kind of do things, keep things in your your luggage, etc. So it is really been a transformation from that perspective. We felt that we reduce inventory, but we give the guests a more luxurious experience. So that's the route we've taken, and that's how we transform the rooms. They're functional, they're elegant, they're modern, but they have definitely a sense of history.
Yeah, the room that I'm in, I forget the exact category, but it's the nicest room I've stayed in since I've been here.
Thank you.
This trip.
No, the other thing we've also done is consciously increase our number of suites and club rooms. We have actually almost increased our number of suites 4 times. Because we felt that people want that, especially after COVID and after all that's people want to enjoy themselves, have a luxurious experience. So it has been a conscious effort. So we've got larger suites, we got more, larger rooms, more number of suites, and that has made a big difference. And what we call the Taj Club. So the Taj Club is a concept where literally it's like a hotel within a hotel, where you have an airport transfer, you have your own lounge, which I mentioned earlier. On the 8th floor, you check in straight in the room. So we increased the number of club rooms. We've actually tripled the number of rooms. So that's been a conscious plan too.
I had a look at the suites as well. The suites are, again, they feel fabulously spacious and light and airy, and they're wonderful. But then you've got a couple of really, really special suites.
Yeah, the theme suites, yes.
The theme suites. Tell us a little bit about the Rambagh.
So yes, that
blew my mind.
Yeah, that was a conscious decision to have these themed suites, and we again, as I said, Indian history is reflected in this hotel, and Tajness is a word which I'll explain a little bit later, but a lot of Tajness is also about India. And that's reflected through our product, through our service, and through various touch points. So coming back to the suites, we have a collection of about 5 themed suites. The Grand Presidential is called the Raisina. The Raisina is the most famous part of Delhi, where the government is and the Presidential Palace sits, and the Raisina overlooks the Raisina Hill. And then we have, of course, the Rambagh, which you mentioned, which is our tribute to the beautiful palace that we have in Jaipur, which we run as a hotel. We've had a 50-year association with the Rambagh Palace, and the Rambagh is literally our tribute, and a little bit of Rambagh is in Delhi. There is a connect because the Jaipur royal family owned parts of what is today the Presidential Palace. It was actually called the Jaipur Estate, so it was only fair. The Rambagh is very tastefully done. It's a 2-bedroom suite with 2 independent bedrooms, a bedroom for the children, a large master bedroom, beautiful bathroom with walk-in showers, walk-in wardrobes, and a large living space, and its own little kitchen. So it's themed on the royal Rajasthan, palace. Gives you a feeling of you're actually in Rajasthan.
It really does.
It is very special. And then we of course have Tanjore, which is Tanjore is in South India. It's a place in South India, and it's very famous for its art. And you see that reflected on the walls of the suite. It's extremely vibrant and eclectic and very rich looking. So that's some of the themed suites we have.
Yeah, absolutely sensational. But I love the Rambagh suite.
And I must add, we're launching that suite tomorrow.
Oh, really?
But it's the newest suite we have. It's called the Maharaja Suite, which is absolutely very relevant to India. Yeah. But it's not only Maharaja Suite from the perspective of royalty. Air India, our newest airline, which has come into the Tata Group, where we run the airline. Maharaja has been its most famous ambassador or mascot. So this suite is a tribute to the Maharaja, and it's our tribute to Air India. So,
nice. Okay. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That'll have to be next time.
Yes.
It'll have to be next time.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, in Taj properties, Taj has got some incredibly iconic properties. And we've mentioned a couple there, Rambagh Palace, of course, the hotel that we're in, the Taj Mahal. However, I always feel that when I'm in a Taj property, it's the service levels and the attention to detail of the service, the staff, every one of the staff, and it's sort of linked to, I've been told, the concept of Tajness, and you kind of alluded to it before. Tell us a little bit about what Tajness means.
So you see, Tajness is an emotion, according to me, and it drives all of us with one core principle, that is, we're there for our guests. And I say guests with a capital G. I think our entire existence revolves around our guests, and that is what Tajness is, and that's what we all believe. And that belief is driven down to the last mile. And the interesting part is, and that's what I'm very proud of, and I think we're very, very fortunate, is it literally comes naturally to our employees. Now, there are multiple reasons for that. There are three, actually. One is, of course, legacy. Okay. Now, we have a lot of colleagues who've been there for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years maybe even. Now, there is this innate sense of belonging and pride they have in their organization and in Taj Hotels. And what is Taj Hotels? I've said that to you in the context of this hotel, but it's true literally in the context of Taj. Is a very, very Indian company. And one of our strengths has been, in India and in the Taj, is warmth. Literally every guest is received as a guest you would receive in your own home. I'll give you an example. Recently there was this interaction with a guest, and this guest wrote about it. He was welcomed in one of our hotels by the room attendant on the floor. And obviously he gave him a very warm welcome and said hello. Now this guest was staying for 10 days, and every day he saw this room attendant, each day the greeting was as warm and as engaging. So he asked him on the last day, he says, how do you guys do it? I mean, how do you have that level of emotion? How do you manage to do it every day? And I've been here with you 10 days, you see my face every day. So his answer was very interesting. He said, when you have a visitor in your house, you have a guest in your home, you do not lose your warmth for that guest on the 10th day, or you're not trained that you must be. So he says it comes to us from within, because you're a guest in my home. And the guest said my home, referring to his hotel. And that, I think, really typifies Tajness for me. Yeah. And that is Tajness. And we're fortunate. So as I said, three reasons. One is legacy. The second is pride in the organization. And I think the third is the strong connect of the Taj with India. And India has stood for warmth and receiving guests, and historically. So I think that's what Tajness is, according to me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We're starting to run.
Sorry, if I may add. I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
Please, yeah, of course.
So, when you talked about service, and this is what I say to my team always, we spent obviously some amount of money in this hotel, as you've seen, because you've seen the change. But the money that has been spent, I think the actual return on investment is not only going to be, or primarily is going to be, because of the service. Because you see, at the end of the day, you have a new hotel today, which is this one. 3 years down the line, another hotel maybe is new. In fact, there are similar kind of hotels in the city. But what sets this hotel apart is the people. And that's what I keep telling my team, that, service, if the product is renovated, the service has to be one step ahead. And I think we've been fortunate so far, and we hope to work on that, to continue the feeling of warmth and engagement which we're able to, give to our guests.
Yeah, I would completely agree, and that's one of the reasons that I kept coming back to this property. Was the experience that I had with the staff. I'll never forget the first time I was there. There's always a gentleman by the lift, of course.
That's right. Yes.
And he would, as I was walking in at the end of the day, he'd greet me. He'd say, "Oh, good afternoon, sir. Hope you had a nice day." I was like, "Lovely, thank you very much." As I'd walk into the lift, he'd already pressed the right button of the floor,
yes, exactly.
that I'm on, and I was like, "No, that's another level."
Sure, it was very special, yeah.
Sensational.
And I think we're fortunate to have such colleagues.
Tremendous. And then I would, I maybe would come back a year later. Like, Mr. Brown, nice to see you again. I was like, no, he did not just remember who I am. Yeah. I must have tipped well, maybe that was
But that's what I mean. You see, it's not just the beauty of the building. It is moments like this which make you want to come back to the hotel. And you feel, I think my view is, it's very important how you make a guest feel. And that's most important in your hotel.
Yeah, I always felt like I belonged.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for your patronage.
Great feeling. We are sadly out of time. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you
for first of all for welcoming me here back again to see the newly refurbished Taj Mahal, and I want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with us. I know you're a very busy man, and it's greatly appreciated.
No, that's very kind of you. And I should thank you for taking out time and visiting the hotel again. And we've been fortunate to have your patronage over over the years, and we hope you spread the word and we have more people like you. But thank you for taking our time and seeing the new hotel and going through the entire hotel and spending time with me. Very kind of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to receiving your guests in low season and high season. Thank you.
So there you have it, and you can learn more about this fabulous property by visiting tajhotels.com. If you're planning a visit to Delhi during the low season summer season, you'll be hard pushed to find a finer property with a more welcoming team than those in the Taj Mahal, and I can confirm that the new pool and spa are absolutely amazing. It can certainly be your oasis in the heart of New Delhi. Next week, we head over to Dubai to stay in one of the newest Taj properties, the Taj Exotica Resort and Spa on the Palm, where we met the team and found an outstanding property in every way. But that's our show for this week. Thanks as always for your company, and if you enjoyed this podcast, please do leave us a positive rating and review on your podcast app, and also don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn to be the first to hear our latest low season stories, articles and guides. Have a great week wherever you are, and remember that travel is always better and fairer for the planet, the local communities and you the travellers, when it's without the crowds.